Hello, hello, and good afternoon. Hope everybody is having a good time like I am. I feel super excited to be here. The last, I would say, 30-something hours since the Innovation Summit started, it has been so energizing and so good. A lot of fruitful discussions with a lot of you and a lot of our great partners and customers around can we digitize more, how we electrify more. So I feel super excited, super electrified and energized to be with all of you today. I'm Michael Lotfi. I head up our Schneider Electric's home and final distribution business globally. And it's my pleasure to be with all of you here today. The biggest challenge that our generation and the next generations are facing right now is climate crisis. And the climate crisis, one of the biggest solutions for climate crisis is the understanding of where the CO2 emissions are. And often neglected, but it represents 22% of the global greenhouse gas, are our homes. Homes alone are accountable for 22%. And overall buildings represent 37%. So homes is the biggest portion out of this. Interestingly enough, 85% of the buildings that exist in Europe today are built decades ago. So they are not energy efficient, they don't have energy efficient solutions, and most of them do not even have energy management solutions across them. So how do we help this? How do we help? This is by solving for the demand, the emissions that are coming from the demand, which are 55% of the problem. So in simple terms, if we can decarbonize our homes, we will be able to serve our customers better and help the planet at the same time. Parallelly, what has been happening, not just in Europe, but all across the world, is really the energy prices crisis. Prices have at ease tripled since the beginning of the energy crisis a few years ago. And it's estimated to grow again 15 to 20% coming this summer, which some experts and climate experts anticipate that it will be one of the hottest summer in record. So we have a climate crisis, and we have the energy prices are hiking, hitting the pockets of families, small businesses, and even large businesses. Because as bigger your business expands and successful it is, the more energy you will consume. With triple the energy prices, this definitely hits the bottom line and the pockets of the families lives in those homes. So what can we really do to solve for this? We need to unleash the power of Electricity 4.0. And how do we do this? By electrifying more and decarbonizing more. By electrifying more and digitizing more, we can help to electrify more. And that is the only path for a net zero, net carbon neutral future. You call it whatever way, the only path is to electrify more and digitize more. And in order for us to do this, we have to really think in a new ways on how to deploy this at scale. But what does this really mean for our homes? Our homes are full of devices and gadgets that has been happening for a very long time. And those gadgets are enabling our homes to help our lives feel better, ease our lives. Some of those new gadgets and new toys are the new EV vehicles that some of us are buying across the path. But they also represent a major challenge, because this is all an extra load on the grid. A strain that we put on the grid with higher energy consumption means we're paying more and we're utilizing more energy, which also means that we're not helping with the 55% emissions that the demand of homes generate. So how do we do this? We have to think of new ways. But we have to remember that at the heart of every home, and I'm sure I'm looking here away from the light, most of you, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of smiles now. How many of you know exactly where the final distribution panel is in your home? Oh, okay, that's a good crowd. That's a good crowd. How many of you opened it in the last 6 months? Oh, okay. Not less number of people. The final distribution panel is the heart and the main brain of the home. It is what has enabled the home to operate safely, reliably for years and years in your homes and decades. we have to remember that it's also not just the heart, but it's the brain where we distribute the energy safely and reliably in our homes. But in order for us to do this, we have to evolve the panel and evolve a new era of the panel. And this new era is why I'm so proud to be here standing with you today, which is the electrical distribution panel. I'm so proud to introduce our Resi 9 Energy Center. Resi 9 Energy Center, sorry. Resi 9 Energy Center is revolutionizing the way we think about the new energy landscape and the energy transition. Why? Because it really demystifies the new era of prosumer, or as I like to call it, the rise of the prosumer, right? Like the Transformer movie. And a lot of people think about prosumer, think about the new energy landscape, but then get faced quite often with the challenges. How can I install it? How can I do it in the most reliable way? And how can I do it in the most cost-effective way? That's why Resi 9 Energy Center demystifies this and decode the new energy transition. It's a panel that you add as a top-up on your existing final distribution panel that you have today in your home, whether it's a Schneider electric panel or from any other manufacturer. You add this on the top, and it really helps you be in charge of the new energy transition. You add a breaker on it, and then it gives you the ability that you can add an EV charger, a PV panel, a solar panel, a heat pump, and so on. All this while not existing your existing panel, which can be very painful in a lot of homes. Imagine the panel that you often have for decades since you bought the home, you never touched, you open it only to see if there is a circuit tripped. Now, all of a sudden, you have to take it out and install it, install a new one, which can cost a lot of time, money, and inconvenience. With Resi 9 Energy Center, you basically put it on top, and then it allows you to add new sources of energy and new loads of energy. Resi 9 is truly changing the game of the energy transition. Make it not only easy, but accessible for a wider audience and a wider homeowners across the spectrum in France and across Europe to really enable them to become more in charge of their consumption. Some interesting statistics, which is why I asked you to tell me more who knows where the panel is and who's open it. In a survey we have done, 41% of Gen Z don't know the role of the electrical panel in their homes. They think it's something that is owned by the utility. I don't have anything to do with it. And 25% of them don't know that it's even where it is located. So it's often forgotten. But it will play a big role in our future. Our future cannot be solidified and understood without understanding in history. That's why we're so proud to celebrate more than 100 years of circuit breaker in the world. And importantly to say, Schneider Electric has been developing and building and distributing circuit breakers for over 150 years. We have a wealth of knowledge across the world, and I highly encourage you to see our homes booth. And when you enter the hall, you will find the wealth from where we started until where we are right now. But now that we're celebrating the great history of the circuit breaker and of Schneider Electric, we have to really see the impact of AI on how the future will look like and unleash the power of AI and how it will modernize the way we understand our homes and understand the consumption of energy in our homes and help us and empower us to make better decisions on how do we consume the most sustainable energy at the right time and at the right cost. So AI mixed with machine learning will help us not only to reduce the energy cost, but understand the environmental impacts of our decision. When do I charge my car? What time of the day? Should I charge it to 100% or 80%? Do I need to charge it at 80% or 100% at this time with this tariff? Do I have a better alternative now to use my battery since the tariff is high? And so on and so on. And it also protects us from the variability of the tariffs that we're getting from the grid. The prices can quadruple in the same day, depending on the time. It can also improve our comfort, because often energy efficiency meant less comfort. But with the power of AI, we can actually have a greater comfort while having a great cost efficiency at the same time. It will also help us understand the patterns of our homes, the patterns of our daily life. So think about a future where AI will understand how many miles you drive a day during the working week. And then in the weekend, you don't need the car as much, or even maybe you need it longer because you want to go on a long hiking trips that you need to go somewhere else. And in order for us to do so, we have to unleash the power of this and have the app that makes it simple for us to use. And that's why I'm so happy to introduce today our Wiser app, which will have an added functionality of an AI that will enable you to understand not just the tariffs, the consumption, the right usage of in your home, when to use your solar panel, if there is a solar panel or a greener source of energy. There is a lot of use cases that I can think of. As I started to say, you're working during the week, you drive, I don't know, 20 kilometers every day, back and from work, maybe to a gym, maybe to have a dinner somewhere. So you only need X amount of battery. The car is parked from X time to X time. So I will charge it from the battery at those times, and I will only charge this much because you don't need more than that. Another scenario is where the sun was great today, the battery is fully charged. I can actually do your entire climate control, right? Whether it's heating or cooling, depending on the seasonality. And I will do it all on your behalf, and I will use the battery, and you actually pay absolutely nothing. Or in some cases, your power production is so high, you actually did not consume this because you were not home that much this week. During the summer holiday and so on, and I'm gonna push back all this to the grid. Wiser today can provide you with the power of AI, can provide you the ability to do all this, and not only giving you the choices to do it, but if you opt in, it will do this on your behalf. Now, without any further ado, I would like to welcome a great guest that I'm so proud to have today, Mr. Benoit Mongi. Please join me on the stage. I'm so happy to have you here.
Hello.
It's a pleasure. How are you?
Yes, hello, Michael.
Nice to see you. And I will be so excited to discuss all the great things that you have in Nexty Group and the construction side. And I'll be eager to listen more to you, please.
Thank you.
So why don't we start by maybe you give us a little bit of who's Nexty, what do you guys do, and a little bit of a background about the company and yourself, please.
Yes, thank you, Michael. So Nexty is a developer for real estate. We are #1 in France for housing, and we develop also real estate for offices. Also, we have an activity in services. As far as I'm concerned, I'm in charge of construction, all the construction issues at Nexty, and we have a big stake of decarbonizing our construction. We are a leader for low carbon construction in France. We had 5 years, consecutive years, the award of #1 in low carbon construction.
Oh. What changes do you see happening in the market today? So the construction market is evolving at a rapid speed with a lot of changes. So what do you see today?
It's moving so fast, and it's very exciting today to see all this energy, and in particular in companies of all the chain and the industry, to see all this innovation. There is a big move linked to the decarbonation, of course. Also, we have several trends in the market. We have today it's the real estate is in a crisis because of interest rates, and all the demand is very low. We have also now a big inflation. Since 2019, it's plus 17%, 17% of costs for the construction. we see that the construction industry is losing productivity over the years. So we need to find new solutions to build homes, and also homes are a big lever to reduce the carbon and to have an impact on the climate. So it's important that we are able to produce new houses quickly with a good quality and with low carbon.
Fantastic. I mean, looking at the construction and the real estate market in particular for homes in France over the last period, and exactly for what you said, it's becoming challenging. There is inflation, high interest rates, which affects the demand directly. How do you really approach the challenges that you're seeing today in the real estate market in France?
Yes, so in this quite tough market, we have two main levers. The first one is the regeneration, urban regeneration. So it means that as we have more constraint on the land, we need to build on existing buildings to transform places that were for plants, for factories, or for commercial retail parks in housing. We have a big need for housing in France, and so we need to transform these places. And the second big stake is to have a more industrial approach in construction and to be able to have a more efficient construction process with less carbon and with the cost issue, as I mentioned. So that's the two main stakes. So now, how can we illustrate this? We have first the constructive systems. So in terms of constructive systems, I will mention this example. It's rehabilitation, restructuration. It's close to here because it's in Invalides in Paris. It's a former regional council of Île-de-France, and it's transformed in offices and housing. It's 112 student housing and offices for the new offices of McKinsey in Paris. So it's a rehabilitation, and it's with the best performance, energy performance that we have today. So we take all the monuments, all the buildings, and we transform it. The second example is we have a construction system in wood, which is quite industrialized because we build walls that are built in the off-site site, as you can see here, in the kind of a factory. It's not really a factory, but it's in between to be a factory, and so we reduce the duration of the construction, and also it's very low carbon because it's in wood. We have a very good insulation, so it's a high performance in terms of energy, and in terms of quality also it's quite good because it's elements that are already prefab in places. So on this process we have delivered already 2,500 homes, so it's quite important. It's about 50 different programs that are already delivered on this.
No, this is amazing, and before the session when you showed me the process of how this comes together, it's super exciting. Now, you heard me a few moments ago talk about the new energy transition. How do you really unleash the power of electricity 4.0? Now, with all this sophisticated construction process, how do you see the new energy landscape, adding solar panels, EV chargers? How do you see this from your perspective?
Yes. In fact, I mentioned the constructive systems, but I would say just before the Paris Marathon, the rapid sugar for decarbonation is energy. Today, it's like in automotive. In automotive, you take the thermal engine and off, and you put an electric engine. It's the same in housing. So our our rapid sugar is to transform gas heating in electric heating, to put heat pumps or hybrid systems. And also, there are many innovations. So we have solar panels that we put on the roofs. We have also the mobility that is electrified, as you showed just before. So of course, it's a new need. And also we have the management of the energy, as you showed, the Wiser, for example, and all these systems. It opens so many opportunities that today it's a major lever for us to transform and to decarbonize the construction. So we have many examples of all these levers implemented. Today we have 60% of our planning dépôt de permis, 60% of 2023 with heat pump. So it's enormous. It was very low 2 years ago. So we have switched the energy in electric energy.
No, amazing. You know, this is super, it actually fits quite well with our findings, because what we find out in our consumer survey most recently, that almost 60%, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the geography, but average of 60% of new home buyers are actually concerned or want to have an energy management system in their home, an energy efficient management in their home. They want to have a prosumer solution, an EV charger. So this represents a big part of the demand that you now confirm. Now, there is a lot of new trends in industrializing the manufacturing process, in the production of buildings, but also on how you create business models around this. And I know you have been pioneering this in Nexity. Can you elaborate a little bit of what you are, guys? And I know that you're investing in some of those new technologies as well.
Yes, without revealing big secrets, but just before to come back on this electric levers, one of our stakes is to allow our customers to finance them, because we have plenty of possibilities. They reduce a lot the invoice of the customer at the end, but it means also to invest at the beginning, and that's a key stake for us today. But to come back on the big trends, I would say there is a first trend. We talk about AI, artificial intelligence. Of course, we will need these tools to develop in the conception, because, as we mentioned, there are many levers, and we need to find the optimization of the conception to have the best solution for our clients. Also in the construction process, to reduce the lead time of construction, because over the years it's more and more time to build a building, and so we need to reduce this time. And also in the usage, so you mentioned a very nice and attractive use case of artificial intelligence, and so we will be very happy to propose it to our customers. Also in the industrialization, I think we could go a step further than what I've just showed you on our Whywood system. Sorry, it's not this. It's on the Top Hat. We have a partnership with Top Hat, so it's a company, like there are several in Europe and in the world, that makes a 3D construction off-site. So in a factory, you can build, as you can build a car, you can build a house in a factory. And it allows to have a very good performance in terms of delay, delivery time, in terms of quality, of cost, and also of carbon, because you can see it's in wood timber frame, and also in terms of energy consumption, because as you know, the wood is very good for insulation. There is no thermal bridge, and so you can have a very good performance in terms of energy needs. So all this together, it allows us to build new houses that are very attractive, that will be in the coming years very attractive. Our stake in France is that today these industrial capacities, there are more in Germany, in the UK, in Sweden, in United States, as we told before. But in France, there is no real industrial capacity. And so our big stake is to be able to develop this. As you can see, we arrive on the site. Of course, there is a bit concrete on the floor, but you can have the elevation very quick. And so your on-site construction, you are less bothering the neighbors. You have more acceptability. So it's very attractive to develop this. But we need to have an industrial capacity in France to be able to deliver such products.
No, amazing. And I'm always super impressed when I look at how this process is industrialized in a way. It's almost like building a Lego, because those construction boxes come completely finished, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. So for me, maybe one last element, how do you see the future? We talked a lot, and I agree with you that AI can help us on all three blocks and all three elements, from design and conceptualization to how do you really do the construction, and then all the way, which is what we're trying to do as well in home and distribution in Schneider Electric, which is really to define the use cases for the consumer. How do you see the future of the construction market and what you guys anticipate in the coming years?
I think it's a very exciting period, because we are facing first a crisis, big environmental stakes, but also we see that there are very amazing solutions. It's exciting to see all the innovation that we can see in your show, but also in many industrial companies. So I think it's an opportunity for us. The need for housing is very important in France, but in many countries. It's a very important need. It's an essential need. People are very care a lot about where they live, how they can improve their living. So I think we are facing in the coming years very exciting moments to develop the construction and the housing.
Thank you very much for giving us the time.
Thank you for inviting.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for your partnership. It's always a pleasure. Thank you very, very much. Thank you all. If you haven't done it already, please go see our Resi 9 and our home booth. You will be super excited about. We really do everything from the final distribution all the way to the socket outlet, providing the entire value for our customers, our consumers, and the home builders to really drive and energy efficient homes that are powered by the power of AI. So if you want to learn more, please visit us. I'm super thankful and grateful for your time to be with us here today. Super thankful for you to be with us today. And I'm excited about the future and the possibilities that we can create together. Thank you very, very, very much.